But the true, actual strongest piece of evidence that Pibby is going to become a series is that it is now listed on HBO Max. So while I was spending a week working really hard on a April Fool's joke that involved Pibby, I guess AdultSwim was doing exactly the same. I will absolutely be making a video soon talking much more in depth about all the stuff they did on April Fool's Day, and the interesting details in it, and some of the more obscure stuff that most people probably didn't even realize AdultSwim did, like posting a missing poster for Bun Bun and changing their billboard at their studio. So if you aren't already, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss any more Pibby content. And of course all the other cartoon content that I make as well. On April Fool's Day, AdultSwim had Pibby take over the channel for about 3 hours. AdultSwim is really well known for doing really crazy April Fool's things, and this one is really one that was totally unexpected. Like one time for April Fool's, they brought back the Toonami block for one night, you know, as a joke, but then that was so popular that they ended up just bringing back Toonami permanently, and now it's still on the air. They've also done things like they premiered the first episode of Rick and Morty Season 3 without any warning. I think they repeated that over and over again for the whole night, which is kind of funny too, to give everybody a chance to go see it. Quite a while before the new season even came out, and definitely way before there was even any announcement of the season being finished. And last year, to make fun of how Cartoon Network was beginning to air shows for preschoolers, they did Adult Swim Junior, where they had educational commercial bumpers, and reruns of their shows were dubbed over by very young kids doing the voices, instead of the original audio. I think that one in particular is like really funny. Some of their earlier pranks involved airing The Room, which is a notoriously awful but hilarious movie. In fact, the Toonami prank actually started off with the opening credits of The Room, and then transitioned to Tom as like an April Fool's joke on top of the April Fool's joke. I'm sure that must have been really exciting to watch if you were a Toonami fan back then, because that's just like the most unexpected return ever. So this year, during a series of reruns for some of their most popular shows, they occasionally had the reruns glitch out and had Pibby and Bun Bun appear pretty often, complete with new animation and voice acting. It pretty much told this really direct story of Pibby and Bun Bun like actively escaping the glitch across these different shows in the background of them. And even the commercials, actually, some of the commercials got corrupted too. And very clearly Bun Bun got completely possessed and eventually left Pibby behind. But like I said, there's like a fair amount to analyze just in those clips alone, so I'll have a separate video about that soon, so be sure to stay tuned for that. Right now I just want to talk about a very, very interesting thing to come out of this whole situation. The fact of the matter is, AdultSwim and Warner Brothers have not said anything about Pibby actually being greenlit. We have no official documentation or Facebook posts or anything that says that Pibby has been greenlit to be a series. The only thing we do have, and have had for a while, is trademarks for a title. I believe the trademark Pibby Apocalypse and Learning With Pibby have been owned by Warner Brothers since Halloween. And what that means is that Warner Brothers has legal ownership over those two sets of words. So, you know, nothing on like Nickelodeon could suddenly be called Pibby Apocalypse, or they'd get in trouble with Warner Brothers because Warner Brothers is who owns that title now. Naturally, you would assume that that means that they own that title because they're going to turn it into a show, but there's a lot of scenarios where that doesn't happen. I mean, again, they posted that, you know, Halloween pilot teaser trailer or whatever it is. They could have just trademarked the title because of that short. Pibby Apocalypse is an interesting one because it's like, maybe that's the real title they want to go with, or maybe that's just like a beta title, and then they came up with Learning With Pibby as a better title afterwards because it would be more subversive. So for a while, those trademarks were the biggest hint we had that they wanted to do more with this property. But again, it's not a confirmation. It's not like they themselves posted that they own these trademarks. It's just that trademarks that companies own are public knowledge, so people can just look up Warner Brothers trademarks, and that was among the list. But now we have them doing this elaborate April Fool's joke, which you need to keep in mind, you know, it takes work to do these things, which I'm sure most people understand, but the amount of effort it would take to animate and voice act all these little new segments for this April Fool's thing, like, yeah, sure, they're gonna get views out of it because Pibby got more views than like anything ever. Pibby has gotten more views than the Infinity Train pilot within like 2 or 3 months. So it's very likely that this April Fool's event was just more advertisement for the show. That's honestly what surprises me so much about it, that I was kind of expecting the little April Fool's event to end like by showing episode 1 of Pibby, or by showing a real trailer, or just by showing like a title card and like, you know, Learning with Pibby coming 2023 or whatever. Because I'm kind of rolling off this assumption that if it is becoming a show, which it very likely is based on how much effort they put into all this stuff, that it's probably in very early production. I mean, there's no way for us to know, but seemingly if that Halloween short was supposed to be a one-off pilot, and then they greenlit it immediately after the success of that pilot, then they still need a good like 2 years or year and a half to actually make episodes of a show or a movie or what, you know, whatever format it's going to take on. So I'm kind of assuming that they cobbled together this April Fool's event, you know, within the past like 5 months since the short came out, because they realized this would be very hype worthy and a great way to get attention for the series. But I'd be very surprised if the series is actually going to be a thing that's ready for this year. But the true, actual strongest piece of evidence that Pibby is going to become a series is that it is now listed on HBO Max. If you go on HBO Max and search Learning with Pibby, or even just Pibby or Learning, it maybe with, I don't know which is one word, you can watch the Halloween short / trailer. There aren't any changes made to it or anything, but it's up there now. And I can't seem to find this myself, but Cartoon Network Schedules on Twitter, who is amazing at keeping track of all sorts of Cartoon Network and Warner Brothers TV information, they shared that the Learning with Pibby short that's up on HBO Max is actually listed as a trailer. So what you're watching here is literally a trailer for what is likely an upcoming Learning with Pibby series or movie. Again, we don't know what kind of format this is going to take, and we don't know if it's only going to be on HBO Max or be on TV. But anyways, here we go. We're in the end game now. We just have to wait for Adult Swim to like actually speak up and say something. But now we all get to theorize together. So, do you think Learning with Pibby is going to become a full series? And what form do you think it'll be presented in? Like, do you think it'll just be shorts? Do you think it'll be like a normal miniseries with like 11-minute episodes? Do you think it'll even be a movie? Honestly, what I want out of it is like another one of those April Fool's events. Like, imagine if they told the story of the show just by interrupting other shows and bumpers and stuff. That would be really, really, really unique. It would probably be, you know, hard to follow and probably a little too confusing for like television viewers, I guess. But that would just be so cool because nothing else has ever really done that before. Aside from kind of like the Alien marathon that Cartoon Network did, where like the same aliens invaded every show. That was like the coolest thing ever. Does anybody else remember that? It's kind of weird of them to have done the Adult Swim event if it wasn't going to be on TV first, because even the recently premiered Smiling Friends was on TV first and then had a month delay and ended up on HBO Max afterwards. Although Smiling Friends never, as far as I know, didn't have its pilot uploaded to HBO Max at all, and definitely didn't have it uploaded as like a trailer for the show. But maybe it did. Maybe I'm wrong about that. I know there's still various quote leakers, you know, people acting like they might know what's going on, or acting like they stumbled upon something that means 100% the show's coming. Like I kept seeing, I think it's on IMDb, that Pibby Apocalypse is listed as something, but you should keep in mind that IMDb isn't a 100% accurate place to look. And also, Learning with Pibby is the title that is on HBO Max right now. So I think the Pibby Apocalypse title is probably something that's going to go unused. But I say probably, though. Of course, I don't actually know. I'm just theorizing and assuming here. This would be much easier for all of us if Adult Swim just said on April Fool's Day, like, yeah, thanks for watching this event. Now stay tuned for the Pibby show. But they didn't say that. They just did the event, poured who knows how much money into it, making it a really cool and exciting, detailed little thing. And then they shut their mouths. So like we don't know what's going on with this. But with the amazing success of the Halloween short, all the YouTube fan content and everything that is spiraling from this, the official trademarks, and the Halloween short being listed on HBO Max as a short trailer, it is very, very likely that Learning with Pibby is actually going to be coming soon. It has not been officially stated, but it would just be bizarre if it wasn't coming. Also, I guess interesting thing I just noticed here too is that the trailer on HBO Max is listed as TVMA, which is pretty surprising because it's not like, you know, obviously Pibby is a very horror themed thing, but nothing in the trailer at least was that violent. Like, you know, her eye bleeding, like that's something that could happen in a TV 14 piece of media. So if it's MA, they are either rating it much higher just because they would want to avoid kids accidentally watching it on HBO Max, or because there's going to be much more to it. We're going to get ounces of gore and tougher swears. I mean, we'll find out. Because not even Rick and Morty is rated TV MA, and Rick and Morty is like so absurdly vulgar. I think it has to do with the fact that Rick and Morty is on TV late at night. They're allowed to do specific vulgar TV things at a lower age rating because of the time that it's on TV. I mean, Pibby's age rating here could just be a placeholder as well. We don't know, but that does jump out at me for sure, because it doesn't seem like it was going to be something 18 plus. I think in all likelihood what I said first is right, that it's probably going to be rated TV MA just so that it can be 18 plus and it will not show up on like a kid's HBO Max account, because a kid would absolutely click on this. Kids are absolutely clicking on it right now on YouTube, and that's probably why it got so popular. The thing with kids though is that, if they watch this, most of them probably wouldn't be terrified, or like they would be terrified in the way that a horror movie is supposed to make you terrified. So they would actually end up liking this, like why do you think Happy Tree Friends became popular and stuff like that? Kids actually like this kind of thing. Like I grew up loving Invader Zim because I thought it was so scary, right? Like I'm sure you all have stories about stuff you watched as a kid that was like way too violent for kids. But anyways, here we go. We're in the end game now. We just have to wait for Adult Swim to like actually speak up and say something. But now we all get to theorize together. So let's all sit back and hope together. Thank you for watching, and of course stay tuned for more Pibby news content because I love this series. I guess it's a series now because it has two things. It has the Halloween thing and the April Fool's thing, so it is a series because it's more than one thing. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more, please hit the like button so more viewers like you can find this video. Please consider subscribing to my channel with notifications on to see my future content, and follow me on other sites like TikTok and Twitter for special exclusives. Thank you very much for watching. Please stay tuned for more.